Okay, so the shiny Pixel 7a, which was once launched for 43,999, is currently selling at 24,999. And then there are many videos on the internet that is asking you to go buy it. And then there is also the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus, which is a go-to smartphone under 30,000. And while this might seem good on paper, there are some major issues on this phone that you should know before buying it. But if you don't buy these phones, which one should you buy? Well, don't worry, TechWiser got your back. So here are best smartphone under 30,000 for every user. Now we have divided the smartphones into 4 categories: the best gaming smartphone, the best software phone, best all-rounder phone, and the best camera smartphone. So this is Mrinal, you're already watching TechWiser, and this is the best smartphone under 30,000. Let's go. Okay, so if your main priority is performance and you are a mobile gamer, well, that's a term and I respect you. In that case, your best pick would be Poco X7 Pro. So the base variant starts at 28,000, and at this price, this has some killer specs. You get the powerful Dimensity 8400 Ultra, latest LPDDR5X RAM, and along with it, the fastest UFS 4.0 storage. And it's the only phone in this list that can score above 1.6 million on AnTuTu. For a perspective, other smartphones will score somewhere around 1 million. And not just the processor, the other specs are good too. It has a big and beautiful 6.6-inch 1.5K 120Hz Super AMOLED display. It also has a wide L1 and HDR support on Netflix. Again, it's the only smartphone in the list which packs in a huge 6500 mAh battery with a 90-watt charger inside the box. Yes, all the smartphones that we will mention in this video will have charger in the box. And not just that, it also has a superior stereo speaker, which makes it a great device for media consumption for long hours. Now at 30K, if you buy a phone, there will be some cons that you should know before you buy it. So the first con would be there are some third-party apps, which yes, you can uninstall if you want. The Poco X7 Pro has a virtual proximity sensor, which means, see, if I take a call and I'm in a dialer, see, the screen is on and off proper, but as soon as you swipe up and go to a home screen, it just doesn't work very well. So if you take a lot of calls on your phone, this might be dicey. Rest assured, the Poco X7 Pro is a great option for someone who is looking for a great gaming smartphone, and you don't miss out on other specs too. It has a good hardware, great cameras, good display, IP69 and IP68 rating, and definitely a huge 6500 mAh battery. Also, then there is the Poco F6 with Snapdragon 8s Gen 3, which is 1 year old, but it's still very powerful. But here's the thing, the MediaTek and Snapdragon has one major difference in the gaming support. Like, here's an example, the BGMI here runs at 90 FPS, but on MediaTek it only runs at 60 FPS. Again with COD 90 FPS, and here is 120 FPS. So the game support in FPS is definitely better in Poco F6, whereas the camera updates will be better in Poco X7 Pro. Make a wise choice. Now if you're someone who prefers clean OS experience, or if you're looking for a phone for your mom and dad, then Moto H50 Pro is the best option out there. So the base variant usually starts at 28,000, and the major reason to recommend this is because you get no ads, no bloatware out of the box. Again, Motorola has just dropped the Android 15 update before GTA 6 or even before Samsung. Like, what year is that? Now the phone also supports 2 more Android updates. Also, you get the Moto ecosystem features like Smart Connect, which lets you connect any external display or a TV, or you can also use your phone as a webcam. The other aspects are also top notch, like it has 144Hz curved display. It also has wide L1 support, and it can run all the OTT content in 1080p. In fact, it's the only phone in this segment where you get all the flagship features like wireless charging, reverse wireless charging at 10 watt, IP68 rating, all of that in just one phone. Even the cameras are like all-rounder type. Colors are saturated, which makes the photos eye-catching and social media ready. The edge detection in the portrait mode is also quite good, as you can see here. You can also use the 10 megapixel 3x telephoto camera to take portraits, and you can also zoom into the object without losing too much details. The selfie in the 50 megapixel front camera is really good, and it's one of those rare phones that supports 4K selfie recording. But then again, you might be wondering, if everything is so good in this phone, then why not crown it as an ultimate all-rounder? Well, the phone runs on Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 processor, and despite having a very capable hardware on paper, the phone struggles with the occasional lags and stutter, particularly in the camera app, and because of that the HDR sometimes fails and it results in blurry photos. Even the video recording suffers with a frame drop sometimes. Also, the battery capacity is decent, as it packs 4500 mAh battery compared to other brands which offers close to 5 to 6000 mAh battery. Overall, Moto H50 Pro is a good phone for you if you want a good camera, decent performance, and a really good UI. Now, if Moto is not the best overall phone, then what is? Well, the best all-rounder phone under 30,000 has to be the Note 4. Now it's a phone that nails down all the essentials. The base variant starts at 29,000 and sometimes during the sale it goes even to 27,000. And if we talk about what's best about the phone, definitely has to be the performance. It has got the 7 Plus Gen 3 along with a fast LPDDR5X RAM, and it comes with above 1 million of Antutu speed. Now it might seem like it has Snapdragon 7 Gen series, but it is actually close to the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. And second thing that I like about this phone is the OS update. Like OnePlus is doing a really good job with the Android 15 update, and it has got the latest color OS 15. Oh sorry, Oxygen OS 15. Honest mistake. And it offers one of the smoothest animation you will experience on a smartphone. Probably the only smartphone in the list which comes with 4+6 years of software update in terms of longevity. So even though Note 4 is a 1-year-old device, it will still get 3 more Android updates. Rest, the most underrated aspect of this phone is definitely the battery life. It comes with a huge 5500 mAh battery which can easily last from 1 to 1.5 days. And you also get 100 watts of charger included in the box. Plus the phone design is refreshing. You get a two-tone metallic finish. Even the display is flat at 1.5K resolution at 120Hz, and it offers both the wide with L1 as well as the HDR support on Netflix. The only average thing about the smartphone is the camera. Now you get a 50 megapixel main camera along with 8 megapixel of ultra wide, but the photos from it are like okayish. The portrait photos are definitely decent, and even the front camera can only do up to 1080p 30 fps. Along with that, there are some nitpickings, like you do get app recommendation in Note 4 just like Color OS, which you can disable manually. So if you want an all-rounder phone which has a good design, great display and a big battery and a very powerful processor, Note 4 is definitely a very solid pick. And if the priority is camera, I believe the most underrated smartphone in this price segment is Vivo V40. Well, if you don't know, the Vivo V series and the T series are the highest selling smartphone in India, especially in the offline sector. In fact, in the offline sector, I believe the Vivo V40 is quite underrated. I will tell you why. Like, you get a 50 megapixel primary camera with OIS and the partnership with Zeiss. Like, you don't get to see the collaborations with Leica, Hasselblad and Zeiss in smartphone below 50,000 because these are usually reserved for the expensive flagship smartphone. But Vivo V40 has a Zeiss collaboration, which means you're getting a top-notch picture. And this is the only phone in this price segment which comes with a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera, and it takes really good photos. In fact, it's also the only phone in this price segment that comes with 50 megapixel front camera as well with Zeiss bokeh effect. You can even record in 4K 30 fps from both front as well as rear cameras. But here's the thing, people often consider this Vivo V40 series as a younger sibling to Vivo X200 series, but it is not as good as the Vivo flagship, of course. Other than that, it comes with a curved 120Hz AMOLED panel, and it has both wide L1 as well as HDR support on Netflix. It also has IP68, water and dust resistant. This is also powered by the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3, which can handle day-to-day stuff easily, and it's also suitable for casual gaming and multitasking. You also get a good 5500 mAh battery with 80 watt of fast charging inside the box. But here's a catch. I've been using this phone for almost a month now, and here's a small thing that I noticed. It is filled with ads. Like, when you press this power button, you're greeted with this glance which constantly changes the lock screen whenever you press the power button. Now you might say this is not really a big deal, but if you press any banner at the lock screen, you are taken to a browser and it is filled with lots of ads. And not just that, even when you slide up to the home screen, you are greeted with tons of app suggestions and banner. Now this is something that you can disable from the settings. All of that said, you can get the Vivo V40 series under 30,000 at a discount in the offline market, and at this price it's an impressive phone with great sets of camera, a gorgeous looking display with fairly powerful processor and a good battery life and fast charging. However, if you are someone who really values clean software experience, this could be a downside. Now, before we get to the phones that you should avoid, an alternate option would be the Realme 14 Pro Plus. The base variant starts at 30,000, and at this price you get a pretty unique design. It changes its colors to blue whenever it's exposed to a cold temperature. This is something that really adds a wow factor. But since Realme hasn't really updated the processor in a long time, the phone does look a little bit boring. But then again, it's one of the few phones that comes with a 3x periscopic camera. In simple words, periscopic camera is better in long range photos. Like look at these portraits, or even at this 100x or 120x shot, they are pretty usable. It also has a 32 megapixel front camera which takes a really good selfie, plus a 4K selfie videos at 30 FPS. So overall, it's a good alternative phones at this price range. Now finally, we have covered the best option under 30,000 across all the different categories like software, all-rounder phones, cameras, gaming, etc. But there are some devices that look good on paper but feel really short in real-world performance, or they have serious drawbacks that you should be aware of before buying them. Like this Pixel 7a, well, the colors looks good and the 90Hz refresh rate feels really smooth. The display is not really cutting edge, and the bezels, well, they are kind of big, which makes the phone looks outdated. Now, people who love Pixel, they really love it because of the software, as you get a clean, smooth software with those cool exclusive Pixel features that are actually useful. But these days, it seems like these AI features are coming first on Samsung flagship even before it comes on Pixel. But even if we keep that aside, here's the thing. These AI features will eventually come down to all other smartphones, and this is not exclusive to Pixel only. And that's not even the biggest problem. In my opinion, the biggest problem would be the battery. It only comes with 4300 mAh battery, and if you use a camera a lot and phone extensively, you will need to charge it twice a day. And to make it even worse, the phone has a slow 18-watt charging, which takes almost 3 hours to fully charge. Also, I wouldn't really recommend this Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus as of now, because it not only has the proximity sensor issues, but it also lags in the camera app. Also, it ships with Android 14, so the software update is not that good as well. Overall, the hardware on this phone is not really up to the mark. So these are the smartphones under 30,000 that you should buy and you shouldn't buy. Let us know which is the smartphone you are looking for, and for more such awesome videos, don't forget to subscribe to TechWiser. So this is Manal, you have been watching TechWiser, and I will see you in the next one. Pew, 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 pew.